Greetings. Welcome to the 2025 Public Service Application Information Session. My name is Kelly Russell, and I'm the Assistant Director for OMB Community Development. Today, you'll hear from myself and our Program Supervisor, Joshua Rollo. For today's agenda, we'll discuss the source of the public service grants. We'll give an overview of the program and talk about the updates for this year. We'll discuss what makes an organization eligible and review the public service activities. And lastly, we'll review the public service grant application. Let's talk about the source of the public service grant. This funding comes from the Community Development Block Grant Program, better known as CDBG, which is part of the federal budget. CDBG is administered by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, known as HUD. And while majority of the funds go to capital budget projects, $550,000 goes to public service grants. These grants benefit low to moderate income residents. Let's talk about the process overview. This is a reimbursement grant, which means you have to spend money to receive money. Nonprofits that receive these funds are called subrecipients. Subrecipients submit supporting documentation to our department after your contract is executed, and the city will issue a check after the invoice has been submitted for payment. Let's talk about program updates for 2025. The applications will be entered on our new software called Bridgeway. We have a recommended request of a $10,000 minimum and a $50,000 maximum. And we want projects to focus on providing services to low to moderate income clients. In terms of a timeline, applications are due Monday, April 7th at 5 p.m. Decisions on the award will not be available until late fall of 2025. Contracts will not be executed until January of 2026, and no expenses before January 2026 will be reimbursed. Let's talk about, is your organization eligible? Organizations seeking these funds, first and foremost, you must have a 501c3 nonprofit tax status. You must have articles of incorporation and written bylaws. You must have a mission that supports City of Pittsburgh residents. Your organization must demonstrate financial capacity, and you must have filed an IRS Form 990 within the past year, and that could be a regular 990, 990N, or 990EZ. And lastly, no fiscal sponsors will be allowed. In terms of organizations seeking these funds, you must have a registration through sam.gov, and I will expand on this momentarily. You must have no outstanding financial liability with the city, or if you do, you must demonstrate that you're on an approved payment plan. You must have current general liability insurance, and you must also have workers' compensation insurance only if your organization has paid staff. In terms of sam.gov, all organizations must be registered through sam.gov. If your organization is not registered on sam.gov, please start the process now. Registration is more than having a unique entity ID or the UEI. You must have a full and active sam.gov registration, and the sam.gov registration must be renewed annually. If you need help, please visit our subrecipient resources page, as we have guides to help individuals and groups register for sam.gov. Additionally, there are insurance requirements. For general liability insurance, you must maintain general liability insurance during the contract term, and the City of Pittsburgh must be listed as the additional insured. And as you can see, your certificate of insurance must state that the City of Pittsburgh is an additional insured in terms of general liability insurance. And additionally, the city's address must be listed in the certificate holder section. And you must have workers' compensation insurance if your organization has paid staff. If your organization does not have paid staff, you will submit a waiver. For CDBG public service grants, these funds must serve people that have low or moderate incomes and fit within one of the eligible project categories that we will discuss shortly. In terms of, is your project eligible? Our department will review your application for eligibility. Your clients must be members of a presumed benefit population, or at least 51% of your program clients must be city residents who have low to moderate incomes. There are 8 presumed benefit populations. These populations are generally presumed to be principally low and moderate income persons. They are abused children, older adults age 62 and over, victims of intimate partner violence, persons experiencing homelessness, illiterate adults, persons living with AIDS, migrant farm workers, and severely disabled adults as defined by the Census Bureau. At this time, I would like to turn the presentation over to our program supervisor, Joshua Rolone. Josh?
Thank you, Kelly. Now I'm going to talk about the income verification process for projects that do not serve a benefit population. Most of the projects we fund must conduct income verification for each client. This slide explains that income is based on income of everyone over 18 in a household. Also, this slide clarifies that income includes wages, unemployment payments, TANF payments, as well as income from Social Security. This income information must be current or within the last 90 days. Here are the current CDBG income limits, which all public service grantees must follow. Once organizations verify the income and household size of their clients, they should be able to use this table to ensure that the client does not exceed the 80% AMI limit on the right-hand side of the table. These limits are based on Pittsburgh's median income and are updated annually. Any awarded organizations will receive a copy of these income limits. Organizations conducting income verification can do this a few acceptable ways. Many organizations ask their clients to complete an intake form to collect income information and household size. Some organizations have worked with clients already enrolled in another federal program that verifies income for eligibility. For example, youth eligible for the free and reduced lunch program are also eligible for public service grant funding. Because there has been some confusion in the past, I want to be clear that applicants must be able to income verify each client they serve. Funded organizations will not be able to use estimates or averages to determine income eligibility. This is a list of the various types of projects that the Public Service Grant can fund this year. The application will ask you to select from this list of projects. Last year, many organizations were funded for youth services, but food banks and senior services were also popular project types. Applications will only be accepted through Bridgeway, our new grant portal. The grant request minimum is $10,000, and all applications must be submitted by Monday, April 7th at 5 p.m. This is a hard deadline, so do not wait till the last minute to apply. Here's a list of the attachments that are required for the application. You will need to have an IRS determination letter, articles of incorporation, bylaws, 990, and a board resolution. If your organization has not filed a 990 this year, you will need to attach a letter on your letterhead explaining why. This should only be for churches and newly formed organizations. Exhibit E is a board resolution approving your application submission. Let us know as soon as possible if you have difficulty passing this resolution in time for the deadline. If any of these attachments are too large to upload, contact us. Now I am going to go over the online application process, which is in 3 parts: creating an account, adding your organization, and creating a new submission. When you enter Bridgeway for the first time, this is what you will see. You will need to create an account for yourself before you can start your application. Start by clicking Create New Account. Next, fill in your information. Be sure to answer all the questions with an asterisk since those are required. Agree to the terms of use available at this link. After clicking Create Account, you'll receive an email from Osmium Data Solutions to verify your email address. Then you will need to add a password. Once you have successfully created your account, you will see this message: your account has been activated and is ready for use. The next step is to create an organization. Since we are rolling out this portal for the first time, all applicants will need to create a new organization. Once you create an organization, other team members with Bridgeway accounts can join and work on the same application. Similar to your user account, fill in the required information for your organization. Make sure you have your EIN on hand. Once you see the organization details page, you know that the organization has been created. Since I created this organization, I can manage the associate users and add or remove people with Bridgeway accounts to help me with this application. Now that you have created an account for yourself and your organization, you're ready to create a public service grant application. To submit your application, you will want to click Create a New Submission here. Now you will select your organization. Select the program, in this case it's the 2025 Public Service Grant. Last, you will select a form. There's only one for the Public Service Grant. On this page, you can see the 3 parts of this application. Notice that all three sections say incomplete and the Submit This Form button is in a light blue and cannot be clicked. You will need to complete all sections of the application before you can click Submit. I'll click into page 1, About Your Organization, to start. For anyone completing a public service application before, these questions will look familiar. New this year, we are asking for an alternative contact in case staff changes between now and the fall when these grants are awarded. For question 15, if you are in the process of getting your Unique Entity ID or UEI, please write pending. As you complete this section, you can save your progress at any time at the bottom of the page. Saving this page will show you how many questions you still need to complete in this section. See the orange icons next to the incomplete questions. Click Save and Continue to go to the next section of the application. This is the project description section of the application. On question 4 of this section, you can select up to 3 city council districts that your project serves or click citywide, but do not select both since that will cause an error. For the budget section, you will need to add each line item in your budget based on a set list of categories. The line items should add up to your public service grant request. The last section of the application is for you to upload attachments. Click into each box to upload an attachment. Now that each section is complete, the Submit button has changed colors and is now clickable. Use the Summary button if you want to review your answers. You must confirm that your application is correct and that you understand you will not be able to make any more edits to your application after submission. Complete the rest of the form and hit Submit. This page confirms that you have submitted your application. This is a list of key takeaways I went over while creating the application. Now I'll pass it back to Kelly to wrap up the presentation.
Thank you, Josh. In terms of the timeline, the application will open on Monday, March 3rd. We're going to have 2 question and answer sessions, which you can register here. One will be on Tuesday, March 18th from 5 to 6 p.m. and one on Wednesday, March 19th from 1 to 2 p.m. And once again, the application is due Monday, April 7th at 5 p.m. In terms of an expanded timeline, our office will review applications for eligibility in April of 2025. In May of 2025, the Mayor's Office and City Council will review applications and make initial funding decisions. In late fall of 2025, our annual action plan will be approved by HUD, and then our department can submit legislation for the City Council and Mayor's Office funding decisions. Awards will be announced in November 2025, and contracts will begin in January 2026. In terms of questions or comments, once again, we'll have the 2 question and answer sessions on March 18th and 19th. You can always reach us at our email address, community.development@pittsburghpa.gov. And you can visit this page on Engage PGH to find out more about the public service grants. We want to say thank you, and we appreciate your time today.